Hi, I'm Jake West, the director of Evil Aliens. I wrote and directed the film because I wanted to make a real old-school splatter, gore, comedy movie, the like which we haven't really seen since the 1980s with films like Evil Dead and Brain Dead. And this really is a homage to those movies. I really wanted to get back to basics and gore. You could define Evil Aliens as a splatstick film, which is a combination of splatter and comedy. Why make a film about aliens? Well, I really wanted to make a film which had cool bad guys in it, and around that time, a lot of people were beginning to remake zombie films, and I noticed that, you know, there was the Dawn of the Dead remake and the Land of the Dead being made, Shaun of the Dead. These films were on their way, and I'd written a zombie script sometime before, but I thought, well, you know, I think the market's going to be awash with zombies, so it seemed like a good idea to come up with something different, and I thought, hadn't seen Aliens for a long time in the cinema, certainly not in a sort of splatstick style. Yeah, I did some research on Aliens, and it just struck me that everything they did seemed to be evil. They didn't seem to be nice at all. They've got the technology to fly all the way across the universe, and when they get here, they basically, you know, they abduct people, they anally probe people, they put implants up their nostrils, they impregnate them. I mean, that is evil, isn't it? So I thought, well, these are going to be great movie bad guys. In the film, I wanted to have a group of eclectic characters who would easily be defined. I've been watching a lot of American horror movies, and it struck me that most of the time in these movies, there's always a bunch of kind of teenagers, and they're all very similar looking. Like you've got the blonde-haired chick and the jock, and they all kind of looked. They always kind of look the same, these characters, and you're not sure who's who when you're watching the film. I wanted to have this really strange group of people.
I'm Emily Booth. I'm a TV presenter in real life, and I play the character Michelle Fox, who's also called Foxy in the film. Michelle Fox is also a TV presenter, which is kind of why I hope I was sort of ideal for the role, so I'm told. In the film, she's kind of stuck in what you might call cable TV hell. So keep an open mind and your camera's ever handy. She's doing this awful TV show with a boss who she hates, who's called Howard, who's kind of based on someone that we all know and love. And so, yeah, she basically has to get a really good, hot story or else she loses her job.
Listen, Michelle, either you deliver something special or I place you with someone who can.
OK, I get it. So off she goes on the hunt for a hot story, which happens to be a girl who's been made pregnant supposedly by aliens. Cut to going to Wales and meeting Cat Williams.
My brothers say this place is cursed.
No sisters.
Oi! Hello, my name's Jennifer Evans, and I play the character Cat Williams in the film Evil Aliens. And my character Cat is a Welsh farm girl. She lives on a remote island off the coast of North Wales.
Cyclem is a remote Welsh island 2 miles off the Len Peninsula.
This island is a little island in the middle of nowhere. It has a circle of stones, a labyrinth of caves underneath the stones. It's inferred that the aliens have been landing on this circle of stones for eons.
And it's a very weird farm, and she has 3 very peculiar brothers who are a little bit inbred.
I must apologise about my brothers. They don't speak English.
English! Well, my name's Chris Adamson, and I've been working with Jake West, the director, since about 1993, if not before. We started off on one of his student films called Club Death, and I've been doing 1 or 2 others since then. And in Evil Aliens, I play 2 parts. The main part is a Welsh farmer who had a fight or an accident when he was younger, and his throat was cut up and he couldn't speak properly, so throughout the whole film I'm sort of... So it's quite easy, great in some ways, because I didn't have to learn any lines. And the other part I'm playing is an alien surgeon.
My name is Jamie Honeyborn, and I play the part of Gavin Gorman in the film. Gavin is a UFO expert. He is like the uber geek, really. He's the Britain's #1 UFO expert, so he knows everything about aliens, ETs, EBEs, everything about them, UFOs, and he is nerd, but I like to think he's a really lovable nerd. He's the head of, the British UFO Research Committee, which has the hilarious acronym BERC.
Weird World? Oh my God! It's a real privilege to meet you, Miss Fox.
He's a huge fan of Weird World, which is the the cult program that Michelle Fox presents. He's like an obsessive fan about it, so he's always emailing in with his queries and theories. And he gets brought on as the UFO expert to give his insight into the goings-on in Wales about the alien landings and visitations.
Right, let's shoot this fucker.
My name's Sam Butler, and I play Ricky Anderson, who is the cameraman on the Weird World team. He's just cocky, I think, in a word. He's just very cocky and very full of himself. Bit of a cokehead, which you sort of discover later on in the movie.
That's done it.
He's got a bit of a thing going with Michelle Fox. But at the same time, I think he'd have a bit of a thing going with any female within sort of a 2-mile radius. And he's loyal at the same time. Although he's cocky, he's incredibly loyal, and you kind of find that out later in the film. He's got a really lovely relationship with Jack.
Are you okay?
Hi, I'm Jodie Shaw. I started my career off modelling at the age of 9. I'm now 25. This is my second film. In this film, my role was Candy Vixen. She was very ditzy, blonde, trashy model turned actress, but she did herself proud in the end. She did come into her own. Well, she gets the job to go along to get to the farm because she is dating, well, sleeping with the boss of the programmes.
We use her because she's good, not because she's my girlfriend.
She does stand out. She looks like somebody's flown her in from the Playboy mansion into this farmland.
My name's Nick Smithers, and in Evil Aliens, I play the wonderful, marvellous Bruce Burton, who's a very talented actor. Bruce in Aliens gets involved because he's an actor hired to play the alien and the boyfriend in the reconstruction of the Welsh girl's abduction. And the rest of the time he kind of spends not wanting to be there and screaming quite a lot.
I'm Eden Ford and I play Angelo Jones.
Oh, the Earth really did move then.
You thought that too?
Who, let's say, he comes down from London looking for, well, pussy really, and finds it in the form of Cat. They open the film, you'll have seen my white bum bouncing up and down quite a lot. In fact, that's one of the main things I remember, not getting the sound on the day and having to come back and dub after a particularly hard night's drinking. All the orgasm scenes, which you'll hear opening the film as the credits roll. You won't see me much in the film, as I come to a sticky end, my own sticky end, before the credits even roll. So if you're late for the film, then this will mean nothing to you because it will all have happened before you arrived. But I think Jake loves particularly the way he managed to kill me, and it's one that I hope will never be repeated, and certainly hasn't happened to me before. I'm anally probed to death.
Alison, you don't need to do that. Away with it, please, wait.
Which was a lovely day. I was watching that shot and actually got spattered in the face by my own blood, which was quite an existential experience. But yeah, he does. He makes a little comeback just to put the willies up Cat, and not in a physical way this time, which was much more fun the first time.
Hi there, I'm Mildred von Hildegard. I play the alien queen, right there. And I basically kill everyone that I possibly can. Basically, Jake gives me a call and says that he wants me to work on his new film. We meet up for a pint, and I say, I assume that he wants me to do costumes, because that's what I do for a living. And he says, no, actually, I want you to be in the film. And I was like, what, acting? And he said, well, yeah, but you get to be an alien, you get to kill everyone. And I was like, okay, I'm listening. And obviously, he sold me on the idea. And basically incorporating some talents I hadn't used in years, being that of contortion. So it was, as far as breaking me into acting, it was pretty hardcore because I couldn't see, couldn't hear, was in about 4 inches of makeup, and was doing a very, very physical role, being raping this computer geek, basically. And and having to do this whilst incorporating contortion. It's a bit of a challenge, but it was such a laugh. It came up with some very, very interesting ideas, ones that I might want to incorporate into my personal life at some point.
Quite an exciting scene for me, actually, was right at the end of the shoot when I did my scene with Norman Lovett. And I've always been a fan of Red Dwarf.
Did our audience suddenly all die in a plane crash?
We do all right.
Do all right? What are you, high on life?
And it was really exciting to meet him, actually, and he was a real pro. He was really lovely, really nice guy all day. So, yeah, he was really great to work with. He could just say things off the cuff.
For Christ's sake, make it sexy.
I think there's something quintessentially British about these characters as well, and I think that gives it a real quirk.
Come on, England!
Am I like Michelle Fox in real life? OK, few things you have to get straight, probably. Jake West actually did say to me, Ems, you'd be perfect for Michelle Fox because you do really weird crap TV in real life. And I said, oh, yeah. And I also said, OK, what do you want me to do with this character? And Jake did actually say, well, you know, just be yourself. So really, I didn't have to stray too far away from who I am. I mean, she's a coke-snorting, cameraman shagging bitch. Which, and I don't know, I'd say 50-50 of that.
You have a responsibility to the public.
Yeah, to entertain them.
I think what makes Bruce Burton different from especially other horror characters is that I think it's quite nice to have a man screaming and running away rather than the women. And I am now the new Scream Queen in all senses of the word. Saying that he's openly gay, I think, actually really undersells how gay he actually is, because he's a tour de force of gayness. Those farmers look pretty macho. What chance have we got? But I think it's really important because there doesn't tend to be, there's sometimes those characters kind of a little nod at maybe they're gay, but I think gays in horror film, they kind of break all the rules. So that it's like kind of sex, if you have sex, he's obviously had lots of sex. And I think he kind of does deserve to die first, because I think if he stayed in any longer, he would be very annoying.
It was great to play Kat because it gave me the opportunity to both play, you know, this very weird, screwed up farm girl, and then, of course, she becomes an alien. So, I got to do the whole alien thing and wear full alien makeup and explore a side of me that I'd never been to before.
I don't know a lot about sci-fi or Star Trek or anything like that, so I genned up a bit on that and genned up about people who believe in UFOs and UFO sightings. I watched a lot of the Sci-Fi Channel and just learnt about this obsession, this passion that people have that there is someone else, that there is something else out there. As I say, I tried not to make him a caricature, that much of a caricature. I suppose he starts off quite caricatured, but I wanted him to be real, really, to be a real person. Otherwise, it wouldn't last the film if he was just a joke. And I really wanted him to be believable and to be most probably really, really liked by the audience. I think he's gutted when he finds out that they're not there to be nice, that they're horrible. But then the only thing he can do is, you know, get in there and try and save the world, try and save his planet.
Fuck you, PlayStation!
He's a skeptic, total skeptic, and I think he sort of, you see the better side of him when he realises that he's been wrong to doubt everybody, and that actually he needs to step up to the plate somewhat and look after his mates a bit. And that's, yeah, like I said, that's when you see the loyalty in him.
salvation. What say we go harvest some aliens? Hey, farmer, do you know how to drive that thing?
I'm not sure if the brothers necessarily believed in aliens, but certainly they believed in some sort of paganistic, occult world, because this is one of the effigies that we had on set as part of our props. Christ. Suddenly you realise there was this old world, or what do they call it, Wicca. Yes, definitely, the brothers were into Wicca, witchery, occult, paganism. Effigies.
This is the helmet that I wore. This is protecting me from the earth air that I couldn't breathe. And the hair actually lit up. It was blue LED lights. And yeah, basically, in the film, I come onto my first scene and I'm wearing this helmet, and I remove it ever so seductively. Well, it's really funny because they, in order to show us where we were supposed to go, you know, the aliens, that is, we had to be directed by a light because we couldn't see anything. So it was a very dimly lit set, you know, setting the mood and everything. And we couldn't actually see where we were going, and we were tripping over legs and arms and bits of people, and so, you know, we were actually being directed where to go with the lights. And I think there was, I can't remember what the word was that they used, but there was actually a, you know, a cue for me to rip off the leg so that this blood could go, and that blood is so sticky. It's really, really sticky stuff, and there was just loads of it everywhere. So it was, and I was actually wearing some quite mighty high-heeled shoes, so it was a bit hazardous. I'm a pro, of course. Well, I show more skin, unfortunately, than any of the other aliens. We don't get to see any of the other aliens topless. But yeah, so I was literally covered head to toe in paint and glue and prosthetics, you know, including like I had to, in one sequence, I'm shooting tentacles out of my arm, so sort of Spider-Man-like. And so I had prosthetics put into my arm so that I could do this. And in addition to that, I had spikes coming out of my shoulders. I had spikes coming out of my my nipples. So I was wearing sort of pasties, if you will. So I wasn't actually technically naked for this shot, I suppose, being that I was in 2 inches of makeup.
Keen cricketer.
We shot this film before Shaun of the Dead was shot and it released, and it just took a lot longer to get this finished because of the budget. But I wanted to have a character who had a cricket bat because that's iconic and it's so British. And yeah, Ricky Anderson has a cricket bat, but then when Shaun of the Dead came out, obviously the cricket bat motif kind of got sort of the mantle got taken up by that. So I hope people don't accuse us of copying that, because we didn't. It was just to make the film more English and, you know, have a couple of cricket jokes in there, which I thought was great fun.
But there was one scene I remember filming where I'm bashing an alien's head in. I kind of bashed through the mask and then I bashed through the prosthetics. And Scott, who was playing with the aliens, poor chap, he had some sort of prosthetic teeth, and I actually busted, I think I put one of the teeth through his lip. So like, cut, and his mouth, in the film it looks like fake blood, but it was real blood. His mouth actually filled up with blood. So yeah, I'm a bastard. Don't mess with me.
Okay, Michelle Fox and special effects. Well, Michelle Fox, she does get impregnated. So when she gets impregnated, she actually does become semi-alien, and she gets controlled by aliens. So I didn't have to do very much, but I did have to have these gorgeous contact lenses put in my eyes, which I actually really loved. Everyone just said, they look normal on you. You don't look weird at all. So obviously I look really normal being half alien. So I enjoyed that. I also had to have my legs, the appearance of my legs getting ripped out of my body. And that was really, really good. I really do enjoy special effects. I really do get a kick out of it. And for that scene, as well as things like the alien impregnation, I had to have a body cast done. And I've actually had quite a few body casts done to me, but they are really weird, bizarre things that you have to do. It's like being tombed, a bit like being mummified, and you have to stay completely entombed for about half an hour. And you've got one guy only who's responsible for keeping the alginate out of your nostrils, because if that blocks and you've got your mouth covered as well with the plaster cast, you're dead, you can't breathe. So you feel incredibly important. There's like 6 men working on you and 1 man just making sure you can breathe. It's good.
It was interesting working with an ensemble cast like we did. I've never worked with so many actors at one time, and you know, I thought this could be like a very difficult challenge, having so many actors on set and so many people who, you know, may or may not get on with each other. And on this film, we were very lucky. For some reason, the stars kind of aligned, and all of the characters and everybody working on the movie seemed to really pitch in and get involved. And I think that the results are on screen for everyone to see. I mean, everybody went above and beyond the call of duty, and I think that with this kind of movie, it really, you know, you've really got to have a kind of a love of the genre, and you've got to be willing to go for it. And with this movie, we did. I tried to take everything to the absolute extreme. So every set piece, everything could be as outrageous as it was, and you know, the screen is literally awash with blood.
Everybody gets killed in this. Perhaps I shouldn't tell you, but everybody dies, really. I mean, really, it's just blood, 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 you know, Jake West.
There's a bit of an Evil Aliens theme where every single person has to get their face covered and splattered with blood at some point or another, if not more than once. And of course, so it came to my scene, and I was actually really looking forward to it because I don't mind getting covered in blood, done it loads of times. And I was really up for it. It's a night shoot, and I was like, right, yeah, I'm going to get covered in blood. And I knew that I had a line to say afterwards, which was, I never thought I'd be happy to see him, or something like that. And I was like, right, got to be ready, face full of blood, deliver your line, be cool, you know, don't blink, don't get flustered by it all. And so there I was already, and the special effects guys are kind of like right below me, obviously, so they're not in frame or anything. And so they're ready with their, what we call a pango, to shoot loads of blood into my face. And like, Jake was like, right, and action. And I was there waiting, and the guys went like that, and this kind of pathetic splatter of blood just kind of flicked onto my face. I was like, is that it? It was absolutely rubbish. And Jake was like, that's crap, cut, rubbish. Let's go again. So second time round, he was like, I think he whispered to the special effects guys, like, give her loads, don't tell her. And so obviously second time I'm thinking, oh, this is rubbish, I'm not even going to notice it. And they let the pango go, and I just got absolutely gushed with the biggest bucket of blood I think I've ever seen. It went into my eyes, up my nose, in my mouth, because I had my mouth open. I had to deliver this line, and I kind of just spat out, I never thought I'd be happy to see him, like blood spitting everywhere. So yeah, they came up trumps second time round. Never thought I'd be pleased to see him.
I've got 2 favourite moments. One I enjoyed shooting, the other one I didn't because it was quite painful. But my 2 favourite moments was, one was the action scene in the van, the gun, where, you know, I'm just going for it. It was just fabulous. And, you know, the doors were open in the back of the van, I was being thrown around, and I had the shotgun, and I felt like a complete little Bond girl.